Hello, everyone, and welcome to the AI Accelerator podcast. Today's guest is Plaisance. She's an internationally recognized painter who's exhibited in over 100 shows worldwide. She's using AI to transform both her artistic practice and her mission-driven work with Wonder Women Now, which we're going to talk about a little bit, but it's a transformative art exhibition focused on women's empowerment. And she has an amazing platform. I'm excited to welcome you to the podcast, Anne.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure and an honor.
Well, Anne, we'll jump right into it because I know our audience is always excited to learn the story. So to help the audience learn a little bit more about you, you've been an artist. Just tell a little bit about your backstory. You've been an artist for how long? You have a French accent, obviously, so maybe share with where you're from and and then at the end, maybe just share, how does AI get into your creative process, or is it, how are you leveraging AI today? Just high level, then we'll get into it more later.
Okay, sure. So yes, I'm French. You will hear that when I speak with my accent. I was born in Paris, lived and studied there. Then I moved to Poland, to Warsaw. I speak Polish too. Then I moved back to France for 1 year. Then I moved to the US 10 years ago. And actually, my journey with art began when I was a kid. I loved art. I loved, drawing, creating. But in France, it wasn't even like a possible dream to think about. So I think it was like, 14, 15 years ago that I began. I had my own marketing company. I closed it after a few years because of the subprime crisis in 2008. And I took this as an opportunity to come back to myself and to do something that was really important for me. So I went from being an art collector to becoming an artist. Everyone can do that. And it's been a journey that has been like beyond my wildest dreams, honestly. So
That's beautiful. I love the story. Obviously, your background being from Paris, from France, that has a certain that carries a certain cachet to it in America. So hopefully that's helping your ability to emerge as a creative artist. And I think it's brilliant that you went from collector to creator because it's absolutely beautiful and inspiring. And so you're busy. So you shared a little bit about your artist journey, and do you also do some work in real estate and other things? Are there other um, aspects of your life that you're also active in or
yeah,
happening?
you wouldn't like to see my calendar. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, so I'm an artist, but I'm also in real estate. With my ex-husband, we still own a property in Europe. So this year I'm really focusing on one thing. So finding investors for this 5-star hotel in Montenegro. So I'm dedicated to this and also finding time for art. But yeah, and I'm also helping clients, buy or sell their houses depending on their needs. Voilà. So that's what I'm doing right now. But as I evolve, as I'm becoming more of myself, things are moving, into one direction or another. I'm
So
following my curiosity.
I think it's brilliant. You're obviously a multi-talented woman and you're doing a lot. So if you were to wave a magic wand um, and fast forward a couple years, what does that look like for you? Are you an artist as your focus? Like right now, you have a lot of focus on the real estate. I know there's some business
Yeah.
responsibilities there. But if you were to get anything you wanted, would it be a full focus on your artistic creations and building your business around that?
I think like 80% of my time would be focused on art, being an artist. 20% would be focused on real estate, investing, selling, doing flips, etc. I can imagine myself like having created a women empowerment app, because I've done that last year with a MIT fellow. We worked on an app together using AI, of course. And I'm again in a course regarding AI, because I'm kind of fascinated with it, and it goes so fast. It's like, actually, like, we should be learning all the time to, oh, we can improve this, we can, tackle that, we can, so I can imagine myself, having created a women empowerment app, having created the foundation to help women, to empower women, because that's really my focus and it's really my passion. And actually, it's funny because it all arose from a frustration. Not everyone is going to galleries or museums or art centers. So I would say the art world is still very elitist. And I felt that, I don't know, I really want to help more people. And I'm coming from a place where, like, I wish I had known all these things that I'm talking about in my art. Like, I can show you something. Like, I did a project with conceptual art,
Very nice.
showing, under a perfume bottle, all the 40 manipulation tactics used by abusers, because the show I've been working on, Wonder Women Now, that you mentioned, is about celebrating the resilience of survivors of domestic violence and educating everyone regarding, what does it mean? So, for example, the app that we had worked with this fellow at MIT was really focused in a gamed way on teaching people recognizing manipulation tactics, because they're everywhere. They are like at home, at school, in the business environment,
Yes.
and I'm not even talking about the politics environment.
Mm,
So it's spread, it's transversal, it touches everyone. So that's why, like, I would say that's my big why,
mm,
serving the person I was when I was 20, very naive and
yes.
very unaware about all of that. So I'm transforming, in full transparency, I'm a survivor myself. So I'm transforming all this pain, because if it's not transformed, the pain is transmitted.
Mm.
So that's my, big why behind everything that I do.
Wow, I love that. And thank you for sharing your story openly, because it's beautiful. And your why. The why is so important. I always I'm very passionate about bringing out the highest and best in people and to help them bring out their highest and best levels of service to the world. And so tell me a little bit more about Wonder Woman Now and how that is what that's doing to help. You mentioned about the educational aspects of it, which I think is really, really important because same with me and probably with everybody, we all grow up naive to a lot of the ways of the world as we're growing up and we get into our 20s and right? Sometimes you get married and you think it's all going to be happy, happy, joy, joy, but you don't realize, wow, that I'm really not compatible with that person or something. And right. And then there's other stuff that can come out from it. But so bring that up to the Wonder Woman Now, because I love the name of it. So explain a little bit more about that and how it helps inspire women.
So the Wonder Women Now exhibition is a transformative art project, because the way it's organized, you enter a symbolic house in which you go from the living room to the most private room, like the bedroom. And at
Mm,
the end, of course, there's a room of your own, because I want to finish on something that is positive. But you see, so in the US, the show, I invited a lot of artists from all around the world. And so I was showing last year photography, painting, performance, music, poetry, installation, sculpture, like all the various art forms, because everyone reacts differently. Some people were very sensitive to the poetry, others were more sensitive and touched by the testimonies of survivors. Others will like be, you know, amazed by a painting. So you have this, you know, path into the house where you understand, you know, that from the public space to the private space, the manipulation techniques that are
Mm.
used by abusers. So you see a growing abuse in the different rooms, but you also understand what abuse is, because it can be, you know, emotional, psychological, financial. We hear often about the physical one, but you know, verbal abuse is just as destructive, and you can't show it. So, for example, I did an art project that is called Bullshit Radio, where people are writing down what they have heard from, you know, their abusers, and it allows them to say, yeah, actually, it's complete bullshit. It's not about me, it's about them.
Mm.
So it's really, you know, an education tool. But as I said, like, I feel like it's not enough and I'm ready to do more. So, you know, like the app will be a good tool. And for your information, the show actually is right now touring in Europe. So it was in Slovakia, in 2 places. It's headed maybe to Serbia, Hungary, or Montenegro. I don't know yet.
Wow.
So it's like, you know, talking with a lot of people in Europe, especially with the French cultural centers who are supporting this kind of project. But yeah, I'm slowly also trying to develop, you know, digital tools to help more people, because as I said, not everyone will go to a gallery or to the French Cultural Center or to a museum. So like using my, actually I began to learn about AI because I was like, okay, I love painting, but it's not enough. I want to do more. I want to help more people. I really want to serve people, because it's just, it breaks my heart when I hear stories of, you know, abuse of the soul being destroyed, because that's really that. So I'm like, if I can even help one person,
Hmm.
happy. So
Oh, that's so beautiful, Anne. I love the story, and I feel the hunger that you have, and share that hunger to really serve. And you're really there, which is it's beautiful in how you're doing it. Let's let's talk a little bit for our audience about AI and things, because I know, because what's great is I think it's the human motivation, or the soul's motivation, that's most important, right? You're very mission based, which is beautiful. So now that you have that mission and you're hungry to go achieve it, right? Whether it's an employee doing some work, or they're an entrepreneur and they're starting a business, yours is very, very strong, and it's a powerful platform for good. And then with that motivation in mind, you found AI. You're like, wow, how can I use AI to start to help me accelerate my ability to deliver this goodness, deliver this message to the world? What is so talk about your AI journey there. Like, how did you like start to experiment? What's working for you? What's not, etc.
okay. So I went out of being a complete neophyte, like knowing nothing about AI, and like, what's this beast? It looks strange and I'm really scared. So during my course, I was like, oh my gosh, coding. Just think of it as another language to learn. So I began really knowing absolutely nothing, to being able to have several custom GPTs that I use like every day, several times per day. And to give you some concrete examples, I might talk about like I have several GPTs. I have like one for my art, I have one for my real estate, I have one for my Montenegro project, I have one for relationships. And I think I have like a few more, but these are like the ones that I use like all the time.
So give an example of like how you would use one of those,
So
what that does. So a lot of our audience doesn't know what a custom GPT is, or they haven't played with it before. So give an example of like, I'm trying to do this, so this is how
yeah.
I do it.
So for example, for my art, I realized that I can speak English pretty well, but I'm really bad at writing. I'm not like, you know, a high profile writer. So initially I was like, okay, my custom GPT will help me write. So I went into GPT. I learned it through the course. So I put the instructions, I added some files. So I added I created files with all the interviews that I had, like, in French, in English, in Polish, like, okay, here you are, GPT. Anyway, you speak any language I can think of. So good luck. I wrote,
That way it knows about you, right? That's the context. So you gave it
yes.
everything about you. Yep.
Exactly. So, all the articles, my CV, my bibliography, some context, the links to my website, Instagram, like everything I could think of for my art to feed it with, as much data as possible. And now what I'm able to do with this GPT is like, the copywriting. Okay, I have an interview. What are the questions? Help me, answer these questions. So sometimes it hallucinates because actually there's another Plaisance, believe it or not, who is also an artist
No way, really?
in women empowerment. So it's like,
What?
yes, no, it's not this one. It's me. It's this one. So check this website. So it's funny because one day I was like, no, I was never on this program. What the heck? So you need to check and educate the AI and tell him bad answer. I use it to write grants because it's a very specific format. I use it to write, for fellowship, for residencies. It helps me with actually, I created also a custom GPT for my women empowerment app. And I'm very like, okay, coach me. What are it's really my partner. It's a little bit like having like, several super smart assistants who are helping me and coaching me. Sometimes like, no, tell me the truth. Be blatantly, like honest with me. So the
Yeah.
answers, I will be lovingly honest with you. I'm like, oh, that's cute. So I have all the time these conversations with, for the art, and it helps me go much faster, produce content faster. I'm using it also for marketing. Sometimes like, okay, I need to create some videos or like some content. I'm super excited by a series that I just launched called Becoming More. So I'm like, okay, based on what this series is all about, help me have some additional ideas. It helped me structure a list of 150 women that I want to talk about, that I want to paint. And then I was like, now let's find, I want to go to up to 1,000 women that I could paint. Help me prioritize. And then, okay, what is the plan? So like really honestly, I'm using it every day, and every day and my mind is blown away by the possibilities. It's like I ask the question and right, after a few seconds, I have the whole plan. I'm like, holy moly, that's quite amazing.
Wow, that's amazing and well done. And you don't have a technical background, right? You're a creative artist and you're a businesswoman and all this. So this is great because there's a lot of people listening who aren't as technical and sometimes, like you said, they're more fearful to dive in. But once you dove in, you're going nuts with it. This is exciting.
Honestly, if I can do it, like anyone can do it. It's like, yeah. And you have now a lot of, videos on YouTube. You can even ask ChatGPT to help you create the custom, GPT. It's like,
Mhm.
it's getting easier and more intuitive and more and easier with, every iteration, with every day, basically.
You
So,
just need to roll up your sleeves and do it. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
To give you an example, like in this course, I think it was in January this year, I submitted this, prototype of app to the course. The course is by Mind Valley, and we won a prize. And I was in such a shock because I was like, "Come on, I'm like the complete, like beginner in AI." But I was dedicated to my mission, to my goal. That was like, okay, if I can. It was confirming also that I took the right choice. learning about AI is like, it should be like learning language.
Hmm.
You need the AI literacy, and the most important thing is for me that you can use AI for good. It's a tool, it all depends on the mission, on the purpose that you have behind you.
Yes. Very true. And I know we need to wrap up. And as we're winding down the podcast, you mentioned a minute ago becoming more. I absolutely love that title, by the way. I'm gonna learn more about that. I think it's probably one of the best things you could title any creative piece of work because it resonates a lot with me. Can if listeners want to hear more about you or about Wonder Woman now or about becoming more, how can they get in touch with you? How can they learn more about you? How can they experience more of all the wonderful creations that you've been putting together for your platform?
So thank you for asking about and for telling about, becoming more. And I'm really excited about this new series because it's really helping women carve their own path, becoming more of who they are. Art can expand us in a tremendous way. So it's, if it's useful for your audience, because I'm really trying to serve, I have a link to my guide. So I made a series of paintings and I'm working. I have like, like 10 years worth of painting in my head. At least 150 portraits, but some people can afford to buy a painting and some people can't. So what I developed is a guide, a digital guide that I can share with anyone who is, interested, so that they can hear about these amazing women, stories of hope and resilience, and be inspired to become who they are meant to be. So the link to it is bit.ly / Plaisance. We can maybe put it in the
Yes.
I will send you the link. And it's free. It's really, a digital tool that can help you on every day work on, who you are today, but who do you want to become, and be inspired by all these stories of, Marilyn Monroe, Maya Angelou, Ella Fitzgerald. Learn about the stories and the friendship between Marilyn Monroe and Ella Fitzgerald. So check it out.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So to say that back, and we'll put this in our podcast notes as well, but bit.ly/Anne Plaisance.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's great. Thank you so much for your time, for your attention, for everything you're doing, Anne. I look forward to continuing our conversation beyond the podcast and supporting your beautiful platform and everything you're doing to help women worldwide. So thank you for your time and attention today.
Thank you so much for, your invitation. It's really a honor.